Yes, I am chilling on the floor. Oh, welcome to my channel, Sacred Intentions. Thank you for tuning in with me today. I'm gonna drop a quick video with you guys. Just sitting here thinking of how many can relate to growing up in the church and being very uncomfortable. I'm just remembering a time when I was pregnant. I was 17, and I can remember an elder coming up to me saying that basically he said that they were going to have me as a teacher, but because I was pregnant, that wasn't going to happen anymore. Now, he could have kept his 2 cents to himself, but that was like strike one for me. Okay. And then another strike that I had growing up with the church was I really couldn't believe it because I don't even think I was working at the time. The tithing that I was given was really like money that my mom was giving me to put in. And I can remember getting put to the side, and somebody, it was another elder there, and they actually had something to say about my giving. And also the fact that I wasn't coming back to service in like the afternoon time with my mom. And I'm like, where's in the Bible that you had to, at the time? But I'm just like, I'm definitely not digging the fact that you guys continue to make me feel uncomfortable, with coming. And then on top of that, I remember telling him the little $2 that you do get when I do give it to you is because my mama gives it to me. It's not coming from me. I don't have a job. So leave me alone. Um, and I can just remember like when I turned 18, I will never forget. It was on a Wednesday night, and I was ready for the like I guess you would say it was that altar call at the time. So whenever the preacher got done preaching or whatever, that's when you can go up there, and it was like repent, or say whatever it is on your heart that you need to say. Hello, Bella. And at that time for me, I couldn't remember what I had on, and I couldn't wait till after the sermon was over on Wednesday night Bible study because I walked up to the front pew, and I was just standing, while everybody else is sat down. Baby, them words couldn't come out quick enough for me. I was like, um, I just wanted to let everybody know that tonight's going to be my last night here. I am leaving and will not be back. And to this day, my mom tells me that people there always asking about me, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But they have always made me feel uncomfortable there. And that's what I think takes people away from what they call, like the church, that fellowship, those buildings or whatever, just by like the treatment that you give others and the judgment that's being passed as if you are living your life perfect. Um, or as if, like we're not human, or is that we have to live a certain way. Um, I always was puzzled by people that had the nerve to, point out judgments or like what they would call sins of others, but yet, or wanted to control other people's households, but yet their household, baby, was chaotic. Okay, you hear me? But we not gonna go there. But I can say, like, during my journey of church hopping that I did do, um, I found myself going to these different buildings that had different, like religious backgrounds, but each one that I went to after being a member of the Church of Christ, I found myself becoming into a closer relationship with God, right? With Source. And I got something different from each one that I went to. And when I left there, I can remember going to church with my grandmother, like a Baptist church, I believe it was, or AME. It was one or the other. But either way, for me, it was different because you came as you are. You didn't have to wear a skirt, dress, you know, what they pretend, like you just came as you are, right? Um, Everybody there was loving. You praised your higher, what you praised the higher power the way you wanted to. It wasn't you just sitting there in a pew, and just singing and that's it. No movement, no clapping your hand. Like how can somebody tell you how to praise, right? How to be in tune, how to give gratitude to source. I don't think nobody should have a say so when it comes to that. And that's an issue with a lot of churches as well these days. Um, I went on to I went back to like a different type of church of Christ, but it was very different. It was like one of my aunt's churches, and I will say there it was like it was a beautiful experience. No, you praise God the way you wanted to. There was no judgment there. But I was just kind of, to be honest, ready to get out of what you would call the Church of Christ. I was ready to get out of a boxed in religion. I wanted to be free, right? And so I can remember going to a building. I remember it being called the Abundant Life Christian Center. And it was there where I fell in love with just trying to study to show myself approved. If that's what you want to call it. I fell in love with reading, the Bible, and then like getting an understanding for myself. Things were revealed to me at that time in my life, and it just blew my mind, right? Because I had always thought like, in life, school, you have these different levels where you graduate, you go to a different grade, blah, blah, blah. You graduate elementary school, then you go to middle school, you graduate middle school, then you go to high school. And if you choose to, you go to college and blah, 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 whatever, right? So I was thinking, I was like, well, what is the difference with church? Like, can't just be sick all your life. You come there to get, healing or like an understanding or fellowship or whatever, just trying to get more understanding of the word. So where do you go after like that? Like there's got to be different levels with it, right? So that's something like I had always dealt with, on the inside. I had lots of questions. Um, and so when I got to, like I said, Abundant Life, it just taught me to have a relationship. That's what they're what they were taught there. What they taught there was basically learn to have your own relationship, with God, your creator. And it really put me on a journey. Like I said, I was getting a lot of revelations. I could remember reaching out to people like that I had beef with back in the day, or whatever you want to call it, and I was just asking them for forgiveness. Whether or not I did something on my end, I didn't care. It was just on my spirit to remove that blockage, right? So I had even went on to say, I forgive you, just forgive me if there was anything that I said or did, that could have bothered you, more say. Whether I responded, I didn't really care. I just needed to get that off of me, right? Out of my spirit, remove that blockage, because that's what God was telling me, that God was guiding me that way. And so I learned that forgiveness is definitely the key to unlocking a lot of things. Um, I also learned that it was one particular verse that till this day it still sticks with me. Um, Creating me a clean heart, dear God, renew my spirit. Oh, like those words are powerful. Do you hear me? Those words are powerful. And I'm not a religious person, but it's a lot of things in the Bible, like a lot of those words, like their spells, they're powerful words. When you talk about speaking life, when you're talking about the power of life is, in the tongue, the power of life and death is in the tongue. A lot of those things in the Bible, like it's powerful. Like they create life. And if you listening to it, um, listening to like when you're reading that, reading some of those words, just create in me a clean heart. Puh. Living life, if you think about it, you want to always have a clean heart. That's your way of commuting through earth, through realms. Like you want to have a clean heart. You don't want to have um You don't want to have an ugly heart. You don't want to have an ugly conscience. You want to have a clear conscience. You want to try to be a pure spirit as much as you can, that I am learning. When you have that, you have everything. When you have that, you have everything. It's like a key in the life. It's a puzzle piece, baby. You hear me? Also, one thing that I learned, um, just even being in the church, that still, holds a truth for me, is learning to be okay with everybody not understanding you. Um, Everybody's not meant to understand you. The ones that's meant to understand you, oh, they will. They'll see your light and they're going to enjoy it. They're going to embrace it. They're going to take lessons from you, right? Because in life, you're either a student or a teacher. You always can be both. People are teaching you things and you're a student to others. You're a teacher to others as well. You are student, you understand what I'm saying, right? um, I don't know. Just every day I'm like learning something new as I continue, like whether it's reprogramming my subconscious mind, whether it's just thinking back to, certain things in my life as I um cleanse, my root chakra, because that's where I'm at right now. And I'm just a lot of things that with the root chakra, you know how it deals with security, your finances, tribal, which is like your community, and I know for me, like a lot of things I knew my root chakra was messed up because there was no balance. Like I wasn't really grounded in me because I was so much, um, there was a fear within me, because I was afraid of, having to worry about how other people would view me, what they would think, um, or, just not having that trust with people, because the ones that you think that you could trust, like you really couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Those certain things were revealed to you, throughout life. Um, and just some of the beliefs, like being taught growing up, like, mm-mm, baby, that might be a belief and a truth for you, but it's not a truth for me, and it never was. That's definitely one thing I'm learning. So walk in your own truth, and I get it now. Like this is why we were made unique. Um, we were made different, baby. If we was all the same and meant to be the same, you know how boring this earthly realm would be. You know how boring. And another thing I have to remind myself is, yes, I am a spiritual being having a human experience. And as much as I remember, learn, and experience, I am just as much as the human side of me is just as important as the spiritual side of me. Otherwise, it would be no reason for me to be on the earthly realm. Like there's purpose here. Right? There's purpose here. And uh a lot of, looking back, a lot of things in life, may not want to go through them, but the aftermath of it, like everything has always worked out for my good. Like everything. I have, I done been in the gutter. Like, because, being a single mother, it's not always easy, but it's like you work, right? Because you got to keep a roof over your head. You're trying to get out of a cycle, but sometimes it could be hard, right? You try to take 10 steps forward and knocks you back five sometimes, right? But that's okay. I always will say everything has always worked out for me. Things I've lost, I've gotten better after that. Things that I have lost that I was attached to, and it could be in things or even people, I have better has showed up in my life after that. And I'm very grateful for that. Very grateful. I had always wondered why, like because of, I could remember certain ages in my life where I wanted to meet my father, right? And he just didn't want it to happen. So I finally had to come to terms with myself, like, let it go, and even like I wanted to, have that relationship with my blood sisters. But then spirit was just like, that energy is not being reciprocated. Stop, right? Stop. That's almost like somebody pouring constantly out of their cup, but not being poured back into in return. Spirit told me to stop. As much as I wanted to know what that side of the family would have been like, or as much as I wanted to know what a relationship with my father would have been like, to have in my life, Spirit just said, leave it alone, right? Leave it alone. Everything happens for a reason. You know, I had my grandfather in my life who taught me many things. I've had uncles, my brothers, cousins, things, whatnot, man figures. I've had male friends that have, definitely dropped some jewels in my life. Um, but with that being said, with me, following down a path of self love, don't you know I met somebody that is just as much as me, like, we locked in. If you locked in, ain't no switching up, that type of locked in. This beautiful, amazing soul that I met online, taking when we were both taking like yoni steaming classes, right? We were both on a healing journey, just trying to better ourselves with, like the learn more about the reproductive system. And so the power of herbs, what it can do for the body. And locked in with another woman that has a beautiful soul. You guys, you can't tell me that's not my blood sister. And the crazy thing is, she lives in a state that my father actually lives in, and my blood sisters. And I actually went out there and got to meet her, like physically, even though we talk all the time. And we met him. People say we actually look alike, honestly. Like, yo, you sure you're not blood there? But anyways, my this when I tell you, like, they say they be like blood thicker than water. I don't know about this, because I guess it's what you call a soul sister. Source definitely blessed me when he allowed us to align, attract with each other. And we are like always in sync with each other. Like, oh my goodness. And I just love it. Um, I can't wait for my journey to once I'm there in the state where she lives in, because I'm always visualizing myself there. When I went there, the energy in that state was just phenomenal. And I know there's like energy uh chakras there in that area. You can feel it. The sun just hits differently. Everything about that. The way that the houses, the things that the elements of the way that they built the houses there, it just reminds me of the motherland. The color, like everything, the dirt, clay, the red dirt clay, like it just do something to me. I don't know. I just felt really tapped in, when I was there. And like I said, I can't wait till I'm there, um, to actually be able to call it home. Um, but I just had to jump on here real quick. I probably sound like I'm all over the place, but it's okay. It's, part of me, my personality. I'm becoming more of myself, and I'm not afraid to show who I am, to the world. For a long time in my life, I was, I I was reserved. Now I'm still reserved, but Now I can say I'm actually learning to follow my own rhythm. And that's probably why growing up I had an issue with rhythm. And I'm okay with saying that. And it's probably because I was always following everybody else's rhythm and not my own. But now I'm ready to spread my wings. I don't know what Source has in store for me, but I know that I'm ready to embrace it because Source has always came through. Everything has always worked itself out. One thing about me, everybody always says I'm always smiling. You'll never know I'm going through something because smiling has just always been a part of me. I don't know. I don't question it. Um, I'm just, I love who I am. And it's good to evolve, but at the very core, I'm going to always be Cece. All right, you guys, you have an amazing day.